Hello you guys, it's Grace, and today I'm going to be doing a book talk on Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This book was really good. I really enjoyed it, but I also had a few issues with it that I'm going to discuss with you guys. But the first half of this video, as always, is going to be spoiler-free, so if you haven't read this book yet and you're looking to know what it's about, this is for you. It's a prequel to Alice in Wonderland, so it's about the Red Queen, basically, before she becomes the Red Queen. So her name is Kath, and her big dream is to own a bakery with her best friend, who just so happens to be her servant, or maid, or whatever you call it. And that's just all she wants. She just wants to own her bakery. She has been looking for ways that she can find a storefront that she can start her bakery at, and she just loves to cook, loves to bake, and that's just what she wants in life. Her parents, on the other hand, have different ideas on what she should do with her life. Her parents want her to get married and have kids and just like live that life. So when the king starts to show interest in her, her parents are like totally pushing her to accept the king's proposal, get married to the king, and become the Queen of Hearts. She's been planning this bakery, and she just knows like her parents won't allow her to have this bakery. And then she, as the king is like courting her and like she figures out like, oh, the king likes me, she falls in love with the court joker named Jest, and she decides like, oh, well, what, I can't marry the king if I like this guy, this Jest guy. And basically Jest is great. I love him as a character. He's really great. So basically the whole story is just going back and forth between like her decision of what she's doing with like what her heart is telling her she needs to do, and also trying to get her bakery started, and there's some things going on, and it's just a really great book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, as there were a couple things that kind of annoyed me about this book, and I'm going to talk about those in a second. But if you haven't read this book yet, go read it, because it is definitely worth the read. It's great. It's very magical. Like, I can't describe the book in any other way other than magical. Especially the first part of the book, like the first few chapters, I was just sitting there like, oh my goodness, it's magical. And I was like describing it to people, like someone was like, you're like staring at your book really like wistfully, and I'm just like, well, the book is magical. And they were just like, okay. So that's really the best way I have to describe it. It has the same kind of whimsical like magic feel as Alice in Wonderland does. So if you're looking for that kind of book, this is great. I really did enjoy it. So go read it and come back and watch the second part of this video once you've finished. So yeah, okay, bye. So, this book. I have some issues. Basically, this was like a very odd roller coaster kind of thing for me, because I was like, whoop, oh, what? And then at the end, I was just like, blah, 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 and it just like went downhill. I did not like the end of this book. And I knew exactly what was going to happen. Like, it's a prequel, and we know what the sequel is. Like, we know how that story goes. We know the Queen of Hearts. We know who she is, what she is. And we know that this story somehow has to end with her becoming the Queen of Hearts. So even though you know the entire book that she's gonna become this horrible person who is just like, just insane and crazy and heartless, even though we know that, it still hurts when she actually becomes that person. And as you see her becoming that person, like, my heart was hurting for her. And it was hurting for the people around her, because it's really sad to see a person become what she became. At the same time, the people who are watching her become this person are the ones who created her and made her into this person, because they were the ones who crushed her dreams and didn't listen to her and couldn't see what was right in front of her face, that she wasn't happy doing what they wanted her to do. So it just really frustrated me. I loved the beginning of this book. The beginning, I was just like, oh my gosh, this might be one of the best books I read this year. It's great. I loved it. I was just so happy. I was just like, oh my gosh, I love Jest. He's like hilarious. I was sitting there laughing at him, and I was just like, oh my gosh, they're so cute together. And I loved the Hatter. I loved all of the characters. Like in the tea party, all of them. Yeah, Marianne, she kind of frustrates me because she's very pessimistic. So you're sitting there like, yeah, the bakery, it's gonna be great. And she's just like, well, I don't know if that's gonna happen. And I'm just like, shut up, okay? Just have faith in this bakery. I know it's not gonna happen, because if it does, she's not gonna become the queen. That was another thing, like, since we know how the story ends, it was very predictable in most parts, so anyway, most of the characters I really loved. They were great. Kath actually annoyed me probably the most of any of the characters, just because she couldn't figure out what she wanted to do with herself. Like, she's like, yeah, I'll enter this courtship with you, king guy. Oh yes, of course, I'll make you these stuff. It's like, just tell your parents how you feel. Tell the king how you feel. Like, you could have gotten yourself out of this situation just by being straightforward with them all in the first place. And I know your parents would have probably banned you from seeing Jest and would have banned you from having the bakery, but run away for goodness sake. Like, you're probably, I don't know, she's probably like 17. I don't know how old she is, but like, she's practically an adult. She can do her own thing. She could start her own bakery. And I know that's probably not how it worked in that kingdom, but like, it's not that hard. Like, go run away someplace. Elope. I want to see you and Jess together. I don't want to see you becoming this heartless, horrible woman. I was very frustrated. Like, every time she'd be like, and I wanted to say no, but I said yes. And I was just like, for the 15th time, can you stop? Can you please stop? It frustrated me. It really did. Like, I kept wanting to just set the book down and just like fume, because she frustrated me that much. Like, most of the time I really liked her. She's like a great character. I like how she was like kind, she cared about people, she tried to help people, she was trying to be like respectful to everyone and all this stuff. But it was just like, what are you doing? Stop with this nonsense of leaning on the king. It's dumb. I'm sorry. I'm like really passionate about that because it was frustrating. The other thing, the ending. Oh my gosh. So the three little creepy girls in the well, they tell her, don't go through a door or you're gonna become an evil king or an evil queen, just gonna die. The Hatter's gonna go crazy. All this bad stuff is gonna happen if you go through a door. So what does she do? She goes through a door. Of course she does, right? No, stop. I don't want you all to have a horrible fate. Like, I know Marianne is your friend, but just listen to the three girls, because one person isn't better than four people's happiness, and just grr. It was frustrating. Like, you could have just saved her a different time or something, or she could have just died, because she's really annoying me in the end of the book. Like, telling her secrets and stuff, just no. Nope. I was very sad when Jess died. Like, I was almost crying when he died. And I knew he was going to die. I knew it had to happen, and I expected it, and it still broke my heart into tiny little pieces, ripped it out, threw it in front of a bus, and it got hit by a bus, and it was just sad. I was very sad. Like, the book, it didn't really even leave me with any sort of, like, feeling of closure or, like, completion or anything like that at the end, and it just, I loved it. I still gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I will probably still end up rereading it. It was beautiful and wonderful and magical, and I loved it, and I just wished it would have ended differently. Like, can she write an alternate ending where she doesn't end up as the Queen of Hearts and doesn't end up heartless and just doesn't end up dead? That would be nice. Thank you. That's enough of this. I can't even explain, like, I loved it, but I hated it. We have a love-hate relationship. I'm going to read it again, and I love this still, even though it made me just grrr in a lot of different parts. But anyway, that is that. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like this video, comment below what you thought about this book, and also subscribe to my channel so you never miss another video. I'll see you next time. Bye!